Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
And we're following breaking news at this hour. Just in, Bernie Madoff, the architect of the largest Ponzi scheme in history, is dead at 82 years old. We'll tell you what we're learning. But first, this afternoon, Governor Gretchen Whitmer is going to be updating the state on the COVID-19 pandemic and response. We have more on what we're expecting to learn. That, of course, topping our news here at noon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Evrod Cassimy. Coronavirus cases here in our state continue to climb, and many hospitals are becoming overwhelmed. You might remember on Monday, the CDC director said that the right step for Michigan is to shut down again. Governor Gretchen Whitmer saying that vaccines are the right response. We're going to hear from the White House Coronavirus Task Force in just a moment, but let's take a look at the numbers for you right now. The United States has passed 31,350,000 coronavirus cases, with more than 563,000 deaths from the virus. Now, we are expecting new state case totals this afternoon. And at 2 p.m., Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan will be discussing the alarming increase in COVID-19 hospitalizations, as well as talking new strategies to get more Detroiters vaccinated. And then just an hour later at 3 p.m., Governor Whitmer will update the state on the COVID-19 pandemic and response. So let's send things out to our Rob Maloney. He has been following this for us, and you're going to be asking the governor some pretty tough questions this afternoon. What can we expect, and do we expect her to follow the advice of the experts?
Well, Evrod, as it stands right now, the governor has been saying the same thing for the past few days now, which is that we're in a different moment now. Even though we are getting to that point where there is a curve to be flattened, we've got hospital beds full, she is saying we're at a different place now. We know how to flatten the curve, and it doesn't require shutdowns. That's what she's been saying. But it's actually at 2:30, she's going to be holding a press conference this afternoon where she'll be taking questions and talking about this situation. And there are a number of things that we want to get from her. First of all, her thoughts now, at least since Monday, on the COVID numbers rising. We're hearing that it's getting to be crisis level. A lot of hospitals are at 100%, and some people wondering why we haven't shut down. Now, the CDC wants Michigan shut down. The governor's not going there. And even though the governor is saying that she wants to vaccinate her way out of this problem, the CDC is saying that that can't happen. They have said that it's going to take about 6 weeks to be able to get this down, and vaccinations aren't going to be in place soon enough to handle that problem. And so we have the question, what is different now? What is, behind all of this? Now, there are some in Lansing who believe that the governor is doing this because her favorability numbers are now below 50%, and that's causing her concern for a possible re-election bid. In the meantime, pandemic fatigue also appears to be a problem. There are very few restaurants that have no people in them, and if you've spent any time around Michigan over the last week or so, even after the governor asked everybody to not eat inside a restaurant, you can find many people doing that. And then, of course, there's another issue that many people have questions about. It's the migrant children that are now being housed in Michigan over in Albion, and she has talked a little bit about that, but there are people who want to hear more information about it. So much anticipation about what the governor is going to be saying today and whether she is going to change her tune on this situation, knowing that it has gotten to a crisis level. And so we'll be on that call at 2:30, and the governor also has an event at 1 o'clock where she'll be talking, and we'll be monitoring that as well. And so depending on what comes from that, we'll certainly have full details coming up on Local 4 News at 4, 5, and 6. Reporting live in West Bloomfield, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
All right, Rod, thank you. And we should point out that the governor has now changed that press conference to happen at 3 p.m., and you can watch it live right here on Local 4 and on clickondetroit.com. Now let's get you updated on the latest with the vaccines. Good news from Moderna. The company says new data from its phase 3 trial shows its coronavirus vaccine is still highly effective, more than 90% to be exact, 6 months after the second shot. It was also more than 95% effective against severe disease. Moderna also says that its trial testing the vaccine in adolescents between ages 12 and 17 is now fully enrolled. Meanwhile, Johnson & Johnson, well, the CDC is going to be holding an advisory committee meeting this afternoon. That is scheduled for 1:30, where they will be discussing the vaccine. And you might remember on Tuesday, experts advised leaders to stop administering it to investigate reports of very rare but potentially dangerous blood clots. Dr. Fauci talks about that.
When they got to 6, they decided, let's just pause, very likely quite temporary, but just pause to take a good look at this and maybe get some more details and see if, in fact, that there are others, perhaps many others. And then we'll find out what we're going to do and then move on from there.
Now, just moments ago, the White House COVID response team provided an update to its response to pause. And they report the J&J vaccine makes up just 5% of the more than 190 million shots in arms here in the U.S. And they say that this pause will not have a major effect on its vaccination program.
We will continue to get supply out the door as soon as it's available. Importantly, this means we have more than enough supply of Pfizer and Moderna vaccines to continue the current pace of vaccinations, meet the president's goal of 200 million shots by his 100th day in office, and continue to reach every adult who wants to be vaccinated by the end of May. We are working now with our state and federal partners to get anyone currently scheduled for a J&J vaccine quickly rescheduled for a Pfizer or Moderna vaccine.
More than 122 million Americans have already received at least one shot, and more than 75 million Americans are already fully vaccinated against COVID-19. And we want to invite you to join us live tonight, where we're going to be answering some of your biggest questions about getting vaccinated. Join us for our live primetime special. It's at 8 p.m. right here on Local 4. We want to get back to breaking news that we're following right now. Bernie Madoff has died in federal prison in North Carolina. His death comes about 12 years into a 150-year prison sentence. Madoff pleaded guilty to the biggest investment fraud in U.S. history, swindling thousands of clients out of billions of dollars in investments. Last year, his lawyers filed court papers to try and get him released from prison during the pandemic. His lawyers say that he suffered from end-stage renal disease and other chronic medical conditions. That request was denied. Bernie Madoff was 82 years old. And also breaking at this hour, one man is dead after a shooting at an apartment complex in Taylor. It happened around 2:30 this morning on Pond Village Drive, right near Eureka and Inkster. Police say they found a 28-year-old man shot several times, and he was taken to the hospital where he died. A 23-year-old man was taken into custody right there at the scene. There's an investigation going on into what led up to that shooting. Twin brothers charged in the alleged plot to kidnap Governor Whitmer will remain on GPS tethers. Michael and William Null are out on bond after being charged by the state with providing material support for terrorism and gun charges. They weren't seen during today's motion hearing, but their attorney argued for the removal of their tethers, and the judge denied that request. However, he did rescind the house arrest and curfew restrictions of their bond. At 2:15 this afternoon, President Biden is expected to announce withdrawal plans for U.S. troops in Afghanistan. Biden is expected to say that although the military mission will end by September 11th, the diplomatic and humanitarian work will continue, along with U.S. support for the Afghan government. The decision will keep thousands of U.S. forces in the country beyond the May 1st exit deadline that the Trump administration negotiated last year with the Taliban. Also making headlines this afternoon, U.S. Capitol Police were instructed to hold back their response to a possible riot on January 6th. That's according to an internal investigation. In the report, Inspector General Michael Bolton says that officials had advance warning about the potential for an attack on the Capitol, but they were told by their leaders to avoid using their most aggressive tools. The investigation found that 3 days before the siege, a Capitol Hill intelligence assessment warned of violence from supporters of President Trump who believed the election had been stolen. All right, let's turn our attention to the weather now this afternoon as we take a live look outside through our Windsor Skycam at the beautiful Detroit skyline. Meteorologist Brandon Roos standing by with a look at what we can expect into the afternoon.
Little different feel in the air out there as we're getting over the hump on this Wednesday. It's just a little cooler than yesterday, and tomorrow may not get out of the 40s. We're in the lower 50s right now. Little southwest wind that's 10 to 17 miles an hour, and we're only going to gain about another 5 degrees or so, with some sunshine trying to come back, especially in our west and south zones. You can see not only a little breakage in the clouds in those areas, but you can also see snow to our north, Evrod. Have we any of that to fear? It's coming up.
We'll be checking in with Brandon for more on that in just a little bit. Plus, still to come here at noon, the unrest continues in Minneapolis after police shot and killed Daunte Wright. So after the break, we have a breaking update on a charging decision.